It's around that time of the year where I create yet another 3D character. I don't know as of yet how he will ultimately look like, but I do know the proportion I want him to take on. So it's time for a tutorial on how to create a base mesh using my individualized box modeling technique that I have refined over the years. This particular way of doing it will probably still be subjected to further changes as and when I discover even more efficient ways to do it in the future for maximum perfect topology. Let's go! Properly executed box modeling automatically creates seamless, flowing topologies without any additional effort. You won't need to worry about dealing with poles, 3 or 5-sided polygons. You won't have to worry about having to execute any point merge shenanigans. And the resulting mesh always deforms and animates smoothly because of its flowy, squarish quad topology. I'm using Blender here, but this technique can be applied to any basic 3D modeling software. Begin by cutting a cube in half so that we only have to model one side. Shape the pelvis area by moving 4 of the cube's points. Extrude the leg. Add a loop cut where the shoe should be and extrude it out. Move the 2 endpoints down to better match the expected form. Mirror this to the other side. Different 3D programs handle this differently. I'll let you do that. Extrude the body. Then add a loop cut for the arm. Pop the arm out. Followed by the hand. And the thumb. Refine the thumb shape by adjusting the points. We cannot extrude the fingers out yet because there isn't enough subdivision to do that. And we do not want to create isolated details. The whole idea of this particular technique I'm using is to result in a topology that looks absolutely flowy and beautiful and doesn't look like some sorry excuse of various parts trying desperately to awkwardly connect and flow into each other abruptly and by force. Loop cut across the sides like this, so that when we extrude out the top half of the head, it can be made symmetrically round. Now add one level of subdivision to get rid of the boxy look. This is the most labor-intensive part of the process, moving the points to better match your character's shape. The time you spend here will pay off later, as it is much easier to get the proportions right now when the points are at their minimum. Because of the subdivision, we now naturally have enough faces to extrude the fingers from. There is no need for any shenanigans, and the resulting topology will flow beautifully and perfectly. I've added 2 loop cuts to each extruded fingers for the joints. I've added 2 more loop cuts here to tighten the shape here. If you are after a perfect, functional, low-poly base mesh with perfect topology, you are basically done here after you extrude and close up the head. But if you are going for a mid-poly base mesh like what I'm going for because I intend to use this base for sculpting, add 1 more subdivision. Finish up by moving the extra points to better match the shape you intended. If you have already spent a significant amount of time shaping it properly in the previous step, this part of the reshaping process will take minimum amount of time because everything already looks good. And with that, the base mesh is complete and ready for further detailing into your specific character via further modeling, sculpting, and/or a combination of both. This is bracercom, and I will see you next time when I have decided on the fate of this base mesh and what it will transform into. Bye!